Dr. Tucker back here again at Active Family and Sports Chiropractic this time instead of at home with the kids. So we will miss them in the video, but hopefully we won't have as many distractions. So I know moms are very, very busy, especially this time of year, getting ready for back to school and starting to think about maybe trying to implement some healthy changes for lunchtime, breakfast time, all day long. So I like to think that I think about food all day long because I'm trying to think about ways to make sure that my family is fed the very best possible way, and always trying to tweak and make little changes to find things that work better for us. So we really like to strive on that end of whole food nutrition and really just getting the most natural ingredients that we can, organic as much as possible, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when you're transitioning, you're making a journey. Hey, Rebecca. When you're making this transition to whole food nutrition, it is a journey. So you don't need to stress yourself about, always going to, well, now I have to buy everything organic. I like to first get people off of the processed and the packaged foods to the whole foods, and then once you have a good solid base there, working on getting certain organic ingredients back into the diet so that you do get those health benefits from having more organic foods. So it looks like one of my broadcasts is saying that it's reconnecting, but we'll keep going either way. So yesterday, the one thing I did forget to mention, so if you missed yesterday's video, you can just click back on the live feed there. Yesterday we talked about breakfast. Today we're talking about lunch. But one thing I did forget to talk about yesterday was the types of drinks that your kids are drinking. I wholeheartedly believe kids really just need to drink water. We see over and over again, even in through adulthood, that our kids are chronically dehydrated. So that is the number one thing that they need to be drinking. Our kids, and adults in our household, we drink a full glass of water. That's the first thing we drink whenever we get up in the morning. So if you're sending your kids with something to drink at school, it really just needs to be water, especially if they're having any sort of outside time. We really just need to be replenishing with water. I don't really ever recommend juice. If you want to get some fruit flavorings, you can do slices of citrus in water. Or you eat a whole piece of fruit, you eat a whole orange, you eat a whole banana, or some of those other citrus fruits, because then you're getting that natural fiber in with the fruit itself, and you're not really having that high spike in blood sugar as you do with just drinking a pre-made juice product, okay? So those are my recommendations for, what kids should be drinking. A lot of your sports drinks are filled with sugar. Energy drinks, big no there. Kids they don't need caffeine. They don't need a lot of extra sugar. There's been a lot of reports in recent years about, kids having heart issues, especially in sports, that are linked back to those energy drinks. So those are just things that kids just don't need in their diet at all. So today we're talking about lunch. So a few things, kind of my plan for what I'm sending with our kids for lunch. So things that are pretty easy to make, at the beginning of the week or Sunday night. Just send with your kids to make sure you know exactly, how they're being fed and what's going in their bodies. So one thing that's really easy for us, you can get these pre-made or you can make them yourself if you're really ambitious, are veggie burgers. So you can do these to where, you cook a lot of the vegetables down and then you make those patties, fry them up. There are a lot of pre-made ones. I know Costco sells a pre-made one that we keep frozen in the freezer. It's just a quick, easy snack to go to if we don't really have time to prepare a full hot meal, lunch or dinner. Boiled eggs. And some people like them, some people don't. My 4-year-old would probably eat the whole carton if you let them. So, just kind of experiment with your kids. Try not to give them some preconceived notion about what they're like, what they're not going to like, or what they are going to like. Just try by, giving them things and not putting something in front of them, with a face or a grimace like, oh, did you like that? Just let them explore the foods, okay? We do boiled eggs. We do deviled eggs on special occasions. We do boiled eggs, for a quick breakfast or quick lunch, just a little bit of sea salt, cracked pepper on them. Our kids love them. Let's see here. other things we can do, you can get dehydrated fruits or even vegetables. We like to eat plantain chips in our house. We do rice cakes. We do hummus and veggies a lot. So we get the little pre-made packages of hummus just because it's easier, and they're already set out, they're already portioned out. Kids can dip carrots into them, celery into them, snap peas, cherry tomatoes, just a lot of different types of things. Just try to expose your kids to it as much as you can, and they will usually really surprise you with what they will end up liking and what they will be willing to try, going forward. And just make it a conversation with them. Get them involved in the kitchen with counting out their cherry tomatoes or chopping up the vegetables, chopping up the celery, that sort of thing. Just make them more engaged in the process. If you can't have a garden. I like to tell people for the first couple of weeks of the summer this year, I kept telling patients here in the office that we didn't have any tomatoes yet. Finally, I was corrected by my husband because we did have tomatoes yet. They just weren't making it in the house because our 4-year-old was eating them all. So, and yesterday when I was doing my video, Noah was out in the garden. He was picking. Now he knows which ones he needs to pick. He knows the red ones are the good ones, the green ones we don't touch yet. So they might surprise you in the types of foods that they will like to eat. So if you are going to buy prepackaged meats for your kids' lunches, make sure to look for ones that don't have any added nitrates or nitrites. We do this on occasion. We don't keep deli meats really at home a majority of the time, but when we do, they are high quality brands. And you can just do like a little roll-ups with them. You don't even have to do a sandwich. We try to really lean more towards being grain-free in our home. So we just do a little turkey roll-ups. Put them in a plastic bag or put them in those refillable containers, send them with that so they do have a good source of protein for their lunch. Chicken salad is a big hit in our house. We'll get like a whole chicken, bake it at the beginning of the week, chop it up, throw in some grapes, some celery in there, probably a little bit of mayo because everybody in my house loves that stuff. And make a big batch of it at the beginning of the week. That's really easy to then put into a lettuce wrap for adults. You could, just put it in a container and kids could take a spoon with them. Different types of things. They could dip carrots in it, whatever. Chicken salad's really big hit in our house. Let's see, what else do I have written down here? I think I already said rice cakes, plantain chips. Using almond butter, we use that quite a bit of different things. You can also get sun butter, which is sunflower seeds that are ground down for a good snack there. And then like I mentioned yesterday, we make a lot of our own jams and jellies just by cutting up the fruit and sticking them, in a skillet, until they really just become mush, like an applesauce almost. So we did this with nectarines earlier this week. The kids loved it. Just don't really need a whole lot of that added sugar because the fruit already has the sugar mix into it. So those are my big recommendations for packing a lunch. Another tried and true thing is whatever you're having for dinner, pack it up for leftovers. That's something that happens a lot in our house, is that we cook a big meal and it lasts us a couple of days. The kids eat what we eat. I try really not to stress out about everybody eating something different or the kids get a separate meal. From the time, Noah is able to pretty much gnaw on something, he's eating whole food. He's eating what we're eating. We're not really pureeing a lot of stuff. We're not mushing it down. We're just giving them the stuff that he can get used to eating. So if anybody else has any favorites for healthy foods for kids' lunches, go ahead and post them in the comments here, and please share this video. And if you're interested in joining our community, it's called the Active Family Kitchen. We're focused on whole food, nutrition, tips and tricks and things that work for our different families. So tomorrow, I believe we are talking about snack time. So I will see you then.